What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and this video, I want to talk about the Star Wars tactical game once again and just talk about how excited I am for it. Now, really, kind of a two-parter, right? We're getting this game's official reveal in just a few weeks, and this was leaked a while ago. Then they outright said it, so it was kind of like a combined thing. Now, what I want to talk about, got to be careful of how I wanted to address it, and just because of what we're about to talk about, I'm not going to show it because it's leaked pictures of the game. I don't know. I mean, you think anything tied to the Star Wars IP, you show something that is legitimately leaked from the game. Now, I believe it was alpha footage. So this is back in I think 2023 or maybe even 2022. You're talking 2-3 years ago. The game is probably going to look substantially better than what these pictures are. Now, I'm not showing them. Go on Google, go find them if you want to find them, I guess. But it just, kind of sparked me and said, okay, I want to make this video. This game, I do believe, is going to be freaking awesome. Now, here's the deal. I think it's not going to be a game for everybody, and that's probably the first discussion we'll have again when it's officially revealed, is I think people that are into it are going to be so freaking excited, including myself. But then there's going to be people that just flat out don't care, and I will say, that's fine. It feels like an early, and maybe it'll be a better game versus it, but they would be two different things. Midnight Suns. Midnight Suns, to me, is a fantastic game. Now, it's not for everybody, and actually, that game took me a while to kind of come over to its side. But it's a game that I think is phenomenal, really, really good, and you have so many people that just say, it's not my thing. And the game ultimately did fail, and you can blame those people, or honestly, personally for me, I would not, because it's just, different kinds of games are going to attract the people that are into those genres. If they're not into it, what are you going to do? You're going to force them to play it? So I don't know. I've always kind of been pro-consumer, on those side of things. But this reminds me, even though we're not there yet, this reminds me of it, where it's going to be a different type of game. It's going to appeal to the people it's going to appeal to, and that's it. And it's definitely going to have to win them over, and it's definitely going to have to hope for the success, from those people, and then you go from there. But remember, this is a tactical, game. Now, I think of Empire at War when I think of about the greatest of really all Star Wars games. Empire at War, I think, should be within the top 5 discussion. But this is also from XCOM creators. So while I will not show you guys the pictures of it, because I just fear, what Disney and Star Wars would do to me, or anybody that's spreading around that, what I will say is, number one, we already knew this. It's from former XCOM developers, quite a few of them. Number two, this is basically XCOM. You look at those pictures, you are going to be playing XCOM Star Wars, which I cannot wait for, okay? When you talk about the different classes, when you talk about the different strategies, when you talk about even throwing in a Jedi or two, come on. So, honestly, not too much to say, considering, leaked pictures. I think they look great. Obviously, they look a bit, dated in terms of, the visual presentation, but when you're doing early footage and it's years ago, it's going to look far, far better by the time it actually releases, which probably, by the way, is probably this year. You're showing it off mid-April. It probably gets a fall release date. Now, of course, everything subject to change due to GTA 6's, arrival. But, you're probably getting it this year, maybe first half of next year. It just gets me so excited. This is what I think you need. Again, I keep saying it. You talk about the different types of these games and games that are not necessarily going to work with every group, but it's important to have these type of games, and it's something that I think Marvel has definitely tried, and I think actually to a large degree it's worked. You had Guardians that didn't sell, although that was a phenomenal game. You had Avengers, which was how to not make, a live servicey type thing. But generally, I guess Midnight Suns also didn't really sell, right, and technically was considered not successful. But it was a great game too. And so really they've tried all these different types of things. And think about the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest era. Now, Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, phenomenal games, okay? Even the EA Battlefront games, I have a very soft spot for those games I've talked about in the past. But the era of Star Wars that easily was the best was the mid-2000s, was it not? Mid to late, where you just had anything, throw it against the wall. And again, you didn't have all fantastic games. You had some rush games. Even if you look at Force Unleashed, 1 was phenomenal, 2 definitely was not phenomenal. And I mean, they made that game in a year or so. So they had just so many opportunities, different companies back then, to do whatever they wanted, and that's how you got the Republic Commandos and Force Unleashed and Empires at War. The Revenge of the Sith tie-in game, which is one of the greatest tie-in games I think ever created on planet Earth. You had so much creativity. So, I'm not saying this is exactly one-to-one, but the idea is try stuff, and it's not going to work for everybody. And I know these are just pictures. This is not gameplay, but even just the pictures gives me a lot of hope, because I think this game, I just have, come back to this. You can tell me, I had such a wrong, or it aged like milk, or whatever you want to say, a year from now. Come back to this video. But right now, with only seeing 7 or 8 pictures of that game 2 years ago, I really feel this is going to be a very, very special game that's going to be extremely good, and you're going to look at it and say that's one of the better Star Wars games. I just feel it, and I'm going to go with my gut on this one. So cannot wait till it gets announced officially, because then, you get to talk about, you get to actually show it, break stuff down, get the release date, all that jazz. So I will be doing all of that in about 2-3 weeks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.